In this recording, we will demonstrate how to populate the CRM contact import template with your mission's contact data. On this first tab, the Instructions tab, you can reference some general instructions and guidelines for completing the template. For more detailed instructions, please reference the CRM Data Import Template Guide. The tab shown on the screen now, the CRM Contact Import Data tab, is where you'll populate the contact's information that you would like to import to CRM. Note that on this tab, any columns with a blue header are single select pick list fields that can hold only one value chosen from the dropdown. Any columns with a purple header can hold multiple values chosen from the dropdown. And as we'll see later, any columns with an orange header are dependent single select pick lists. This means that the values chosen within these orange columns are dependent on each other, and we will walk through an example of these columns later on in the demonstration. When adding contacts to the template, you should first populate the account name column with your mission's name. In the post column, you'll go ahead and populate your post's name. In the deactivated column, you'll indicate whether the contact should be active or deactivated in CRM. Note that any deactivated contacts in CRM will have a visual indicator on their contact record that lets other users know that they are deactivated. However, these deactivated contacts can still receive email and event outreach from your mission. Note that if you choose to deactivate a particular contact, you'll then have to list a reason for why they are deactivated. So in column E, you'll choose from the dropdown one of the options for why you are deactivating this contact. In the Contact Of column, choose the post section at the mission that owns the relationship with the contact. So in this example, let's say that the PD section at the mission really owns the relationship with this contact. If the contact has a relationship with other post sections, record these relationships in the post section column. So in this example, maybe the PD section owns the relationship. However, maybe the econ section also has a relationship with the contact. So we will list the econ section within the post section column. Note that the post section field is a multi-select pick list. So if necessary, you can relate multiple other sections that have a relationship with this contact. Just make sure to separate each selection with a semicolon. Next, you should go ahead and fill out information for the contact's name. Note that for the salutation field, you can either select a choice from the dropdown or type in a valid value. Continue entering in the person's name. Note that the formal name field will be automatically created within CRM with the concatenation of the contact's salutation, first name, middle name, and last name. However, you can change that formal name to a different value in this column M formal name column. Continuing on down, you can populate the contact's job title. In the communication channel column, you'll choose the primary method that you will contact this contact. So you can either select email, mail, or phone number. And whichever communication channel you choose, the corresponding preferred information will then be required. So in this example, since I chose email for communication channel, I'll then enter in a preferred email for this contact. In column R, the opt-out of mission email mailing list, you will select whether you would like to automatically unsubscribe this contact from your email communications. In most cases, you'll want to email these contacts that you're adding to CRM, so you'll most likely select no. However, there may be some cases where you want to automatically unsubscribe particular contacts. As I mentioned, if we selected a different communication channel, for example, phone, the preferred phone would then be required. Or perhaps if I selected mail, then the mailing street and the mailing city for that contact would then be required. Note that when filling out this template, there are only 2 required fields that you'll need to populate in order to create the contact. It's required that you fill out a last name for that person, and then also the communication channel with that corresponding information. Of course, you should populate the template with as much information as you can. However, those are the only 2 required fields that you'll need in order to create that new contact. Moving on down to the right, in column Y, organization, you can relate and create this contact's preferred organization or primary organization in CRM. We won't go through every single column within this demonstration, since again, every single column contains each field that you can create on a contact record. For more information on each field, please reference the CRM Contact Import Template Guide. Starting with column AH, you can start to relate additional email addresses or phone numbers that the contact might have. Just ensure that only one email address and phone number is entered into each field. The sector and the sector subcategory columns are examples of the dependent single select pick list. So the values for sector subcategory are going to depend on which sector is selected and chosen in column AO. So for example, my contact might have a sector with the value of business and then a subcategory of international within that sector. Moving down, you can record any interests the contact may have. Again, note that these purple columns are all multi-select pick lists, so you can relate multiple interests, multiple expertise, and multiple fields of study. Again, just ensure they're separated by a semicolon. In the biography field, you can type out or copy and paste a biography for the contact. In the local formal name column, you can record the contact's formal name in a local language. In local title, you can record the contact's job title in a local language. And then in the local mailing street, city, country, and postal code, you can record the contact's mailing information in a local language as well. In the Department of State Mission Employee column, indicate whether the contact is an employee of the mission or the Department of State. In this example, I will select true. And then since I selected true, I will then choose which type of employee this contact is in the Department of State Mission Employment Type column. Moving on down to column BH, contact groups. You can use the contact groups column if you need to create contact groups for contacts in the template. If you are relating contacts to multiple groups, make sure to separate each group by a semicolon. So in this example, my contact Michael will be added to the alumni and the IVLP contact groups, which will also be created when the contact records are created as well. In the last few columns, starting with column BI, you can record any social media information you have regarding the contact. However, again, these are not required fields. As a reminder, all of the columns within this tab contain every single field on a CRM contact record. So again, you should fill out each field that you have information for each contact. However, only the last name and the communication channel information fields are required to create that contact using the template. In CRM, you have the ability to relate contacts with each other in order to track information on a contact spouse or their point of contact. If you want to track this information using the contact import template, you'll use the Related Contacts tab. On the Related Contacts tab, you will copy and paste the contact unique ID from column BE on the CRM Contact Import Data tab. So navigating back to our contact that we created, we'll find their contact unique ID, which will be automatically populated for us. And then we'll go back to the Related Contacts tab and paste that in the Contact Unique ID column. Make sure when pasting that you're pasting values only. After you paste in the unique ID, you'll then indicate the relation type that you want to create. So you can choose from this relation type dropdown and choose whether you'd like to record a spouse or partner, a POC, or another type of relationship. For status, you'll then indicate whether this is the contact's current, past, or future spouse. Also indicate whether this is the primary spouse or not. And then can go ahead and record that contact's or that spouse's information. You should go ahead and populate as much information as you have for that spouse or that related contact. But do note that the only required field in order to create this relationship are the unique ID, the relationship type, and the status. For additional guidance on the outreach implications of spouse and POC relationships in CRM, you should refer to the instructions at the top of the tab. Using a similar process with the unique ID, you can also record any notes to the contacts in the template as well. So to do so, you'll navigate to the Notes tab and then copy and paste the contact's unique ID. Again, make sure to copy and paste values only, and then you can go ahead and add in a subject for the note, and then any comments as well. Upon import, any notes added to the contact will be available on the contact record within CRM. Moving back to the Contact Import Data tab, as you fill out any single select pick list or multi-select pick lists, such as contact of or post section or salutation. It may be helpful to use the Field Selection Options tab to quickly find the value that you're looking for. So instead of clicking on the dropdown within the Contact Data tab and searching or scrolling through the available options, we would suggest navigating to the Field Selection Options tab and searching for the particular value that you are looking for. So for example, if you know that the contact is involved in agriculture, but you're not sure where to relate this on their contact record, you can search the sheet for agriculture and can see that there is an interest within CRM for food security and agriculture. And can then navigate back to that contact record on the Contact Import Data tab. We can go back to the Interests column within the template, and we can find the food security agriculture interest. So again, that is how to populate the data import template with your contact information. You do, of course, have the ability to copy and paste information into the template. Again, just ensure that the columns align with the fields that you want to populate. If further guidance on completing the template is required, please reference the CRM Data Import Guide.